how you can interact with people throughout the game. There's a couple different ways that you can interact in the game. You know, your general chatting, talking to them, having a good time. But a lot of people want adventure, so what they're going to do is go out and form groups. When you form a group, sorry, still haven't gotten over that cold yet. You're going to be able to bring up your friends list. Actually, I'm kind of jumping in two different areas here. The group allows you to go out, gain EXP together, go through the instances, adventure together, share your loot. Very common in a lot of different games that we have. Some of the special features we have in Dragon's Prophet in our friends list, I'm going to go through and explain a little bit for you. Opening up the friends list is the O key, and you can see mine on there. I went through and just kind of asked a whole bunch of players to join up with me to become part of my friends list so I can have some list in there. Various different ones you can see in here. The first thing I'm going to show you in the friends list is the different types of friends we have. You've got your general friends, which are the people that you've invited to be your friend, you've confirmed it, and they're always going to show up on your list. Your next one here is your acquaintances. I haven't grouped with anybody in a couple days, but if you group with somebody, they become an acquaintance. So it might not be somebody that you initially started out as a friend, but you remember from a few days ago that you grouped with them and they were a lot of fun, so you want to go look for them. Your best place to check is the acquaintance.
The acquaintance system's kind of neat because, you know, normally when you're playing and you encounter people, groupings kind of can occur on a casual basis, so it kind of helps you keep track of all the people that you've met in the game, and you know, just gives you the option of maybe you want to convert them to a friend, maybe they are just that, an acquaintance, so kind of gives a little bit of organization to the people you meet in the game.
Yeah, it works out really good for me because I always forget people's names or just misspell them when I try to add them.
You know, if it's a long spelling name, you know, it's weird.
You're one of those people that are L-I-L-I-L-I. It just messes me up every time.
Yeah.
After the acquaintance, you have your blacklist. Your blacklist is anybody that you've chosen to block. If somebody was annoying to you, you didn't like what they were talking about and stuff, and you added them to your ignore list or your blacklist, they'll show up in this list here. It gives you an opportunity to then remove them if you choose to not feel they're a bad person or
it's good
don't
to
want
see
them there.
I'm not on your blacklist.
Not yet. We'll work on that though. The next one is your enemies. The enemies isn't something that's really populated that much right now. It's mainly based off the PvP system when that comes in. It's going to be tracking things of people that have done attacks against you or killed you in PvP. You'll be able to see them in that list so you know who to go back and get that revenge on, or to add to your blacklist if you want.
The enemies list kind of functions like the acquaintance list where you know, it's people that you encounter in the game, and it's kind of automatically populated for you. You don't really add them to it. So then once they're determined as enemies, you can, you know, if they're aggressive and you don't like them and they're mean, you can add them to your blacklist, or who knows, sometimes our enemies become our friends and, you know, you could convert them to a friend. So it's just another way to keep track of the people that you interact with in-game.
So we have basically our basic friendship. It's the friends list. It's really not that different than most games out there. It does have a few extra features that we have added in there.
I think you have a new acquaintance.
I do. Different people. I'm sure I'll have a flood of people here in the very near future. They find me. They always do. So let's get into some of the advanced features of the friendship system. So one of the things that Dragon's Prophet has is this advanced system that not only allows you to have your acquaintances and your friends, but to have a benefit to have them. So the first one you're going to see in here is I've got my friends. Full list of friends in here. One of the things I did find that was kind of cool is I can grab any one of my friends here and I can add them to my favorites, which adds them to the top of this list. It allows me to sort this list and make it so that I can see exactly whether they're online, offline. Certain ones that I group with more often, I want to pay more attention to those. Man, can't get rid of this cough. So with the friendship system, you also develop relationships or bonds with the players that you group with and you adventure with. So to give you an example of this is I went through and did a little bit of work here, and you can see on my screen, see if this thing is actually set up here. Hey, look at that. We can circle things. Cool. Right here it shows my friendliness level to Apothis. Apothis was somebody, player online that I just looking for extra people to actually help me test the system and get it set up, and he happened to be available at the time. No, I mean. So what you can see on here, and we're working through still changing some of the translations and some of the text in the game. For example, in this one, my relationship with this person is currently a mentor, or Apothis was a friend, We got Aaron up here, that I'm a comrade. These are terms that we're probably going to change and westernize a little bit. We're looking at some other more friendly terms to use in there than you see right now.
It's kind of a neat system. If you look at the values next to the friendliness, that's basically a numerical representation of how much he's played with the friend, grouped with them, maybe done some dungeons, quests. And as you create that relationship and group with your friends, that number will increase, and that's what determines what your friendship bond level is. There's 5 different levels of friendship bond, and depending on the level, you actually see in-game benefits. So, for example, when you first create a friendship with somebody, you start grouping with them, you don't see a lot of benefits. But when you attain that first level of friendship bond, you see an experience bonus when you group with them. That experience bonus increases as your bond increases. In the deeper levels of the friendship system, you actually gain an increased drop rate to items while you group. So there's kind of a lasting value to have these long-term friendships with people, and of course, you get their camaraderie and their support while you progress through the game. But you also see in-game benefits for it, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's kind of neat how it'll help motivate the idea of playing with some of the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
In addition to that, there's a secondary system. That actually allows me to have my own friendship points to show how those accumulate all my friends together. And that system, once a person has obtained the first level of relationship with me, in this case, I think I've got on here an acquaintance and a mentor. Right now it's called a mentor. I believe we're going with partner or friend or something like that for the first level.
Yep.
And once we have that up, and a person has grouped with me enough and gained enough experience, they gain that level, they'll start generating points for me, for my actual friendship system. Highlight up here, you can see the friendship points. I currently have 172 out of 1,000. So those friendship points are generated when somebody who I've already acquired a bond with goes out and kills NPCs and generates EXP. I don't take EXP from them, but I take a percentage of that, and it's converted over and becomes my friendship points.
You don't have to be grouped with them either. I mean, it's generally just anybody who's on your friendship, on your friends list, who's out adventuring in the world by themselves. They could be in a group with other people. Every time they score what's called a takedown, that means they get a killing blow on a creature that is of equal or greater level to them. They earn friendship points for you. So you also will be earning them for them. It's kind of like a back and forth thing. So it can be people that you're grouping with that are your friends, or other people in your guild. It kind of benefits you to have a lot of friends, because then you'll accumulate friendship points more quickly.
Yeah, and the key to that is not only just having a large number of friends, but you need to have grouped with them at some point in order to gain that level so that you have a higher rank.
Yeah, I think the balance is kind of neat, because if you're the type of player that has a lot of friends, you have bonds with them because you play with them all casually, you'll accumulate a lot of friendship points because they'll be scoring takedowns. But if you're the type of player that only has a select group of people that you play with consistently, you'll benefit from a higher level of friendship bond, which will give you a higher drop rate and more experience when you group with them. So it really caters to both play styles.
Yeah, it definitely gives a cool advantage.
Yeah.
It also does raise the question now of what are those friendship points for? You can see I've got 172 out of 1,000. Every time you hit 1,000 points, it'll actually give you a gift, which you can see I've got 2 of them waiting for me right now. I'm going to click this, and I've taken one and received a friendship gift pack. Those friendship gift packs are now in my inventory. I can click those, I open it up, and what's that do for me? That's giving me 10 of the kindred insignias. So each of these, as I open up, will give me a random number of the insignias for the kindred.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, 17.
Nice.
And then the question is, well, what do you use those for? They must have some kind of purpose. It's the currency in game. So in this particular case, you're going to see, here's a couple of cool little features I thought was kind of neat too. The personal info was kind of cool. You can write a little biography about yourself, and you can see your friends, see a little bit about them. And then you can also do, where's that thing? Where's your note?
Right under
there. There it is. You can write your different notes of doing a webcast.
And whenever you change your personal status like that, it'll show up under your friends list, kind of like the way an instant messenger would. You can see that Melite is crafting. Yep.
Yeah, currently we've got somebody crafting. If you see me run. So just little informational messages to see what you're currently doing at that time. You can set up whatever message you want. So back to this guy. The Aaron Compass.
Yeah, that's actually going to be renamed in this next version. It's called the Kindred Compass to match the Kindred insignias. So you're likely to see that name change. And I think this is one of the first times we're actually seeing the compass fully in game. It's kind of a neat mechanic.
Yeah, I went through and populated this so that we can have it available on beta and players can start playing around with it and trying it out. What it's going to do is it gives you that currency through the friendship system, and you can then spend that currency on a wheel. That wheel is going to give you random items throughout the game. And those are, some of them are going to be really good, some of them are going to be kind of your, extra little prizes. Looks like this one's actually cut off. That should be 2,000. But you can look at some of the different ones on here. 150 gold, 200 gold, 2,000 gold. You can also get into some different items like some more of the insignias that are used for actually spinning on the wheel.
Different types, right? Yeah. It looks like on the left-hand side of the wheel you have 4,960. That means you must have been opening a lot of friendship packs.
I opened up a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
I prepared.
Especially if you're getting 10 to 17 at a time. You must have a lot of friends.
Yes, as you can see, I've got a lot of friends, and they're all working real hard for me.
Earning you takedown points.
So what you're going to do in here is your standard little wheel. Little wheel does not spin there. Oh, helps if I actually accept. So we're going to pull the little wheel, spin, and I got 5 of the dragon insignias as a reward. We're just going to spin this a few times, see a few different things we get. I got 150 gold.
So it looks like you're into it. Looks like you're
2,000.
into spinning the wheel. So tell me this: if you run out of those tokens, does that incent you to tell your friends to go out and just farm and kill a bunch of stuff so you get more so you can spin the wheel again?
I'm kind of a dictator, so yeah, I'll go out there and just start sending them tells, making sure that they actually go out and get stuff.
Maybe even with your guild, right? Like you could have your guild give them a directive, hey, everybody's got to earn me this many friendship points. Is it really a friendship point at that point? I don't know.
I don't know. That's an interesting
As long as your
question.
wheel's spinning, I guess that's all that matters.
One of the cool features with this is you can also go for a premium price. If you want to go for the premium price, it actually changes the rewards that you have available to you. You'll actually notice it's a lot of the same rewards that were on here, but some of the rarer ones that you'd see. So now I've got just a few more to choose from. Let's see if we can get one of these other ones. Whoops. I know what I'm doing, really. I do.
Big spin.
Come on, big money, big money. 25 of the insignias for the dragon insignias. A friendship puppet.
It's my understanding that also all of the items on the wheel, some of them would be common and other ones might be a little bit more rare. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's definitely a probability on the wheel itself, so some things are going to be more common, some are going to be rare. A lot of the items that you actually see on the wheel are also items that you can get through the Station Cash store.
Oh, wow.
So it's an opportunity that through the friendship system you can get some of these items that you may normally pay Station Cash for through normal gameplay. Cool. So one of the things we actually received, let's see, what else we got here for the friendship.
What is that little guy doing? That little puppet thing?
That's actually for the friendship system.
Huh.
That actually gives me 1,000 points. It's actually how I cheated and got some of this stuff.
Oh, I see.
So if I actually use one of those, let's just close this. We'll see right now that I've got the 1 here, and I'm currently at 172. If I use this little guy here, oh, that's the one you have to give to a friend. So I have to give that to somebody. Let's find somebody to give that to. Let's see, Aaron's right here.
So you really don't have to be too good of friends with them. You can just give them a bunch of dolls and they'll like you more.
Yeah, that'll probably work too. So I just sent a gift over to Aaron there, so you can see that.
And you do that through the menu. That's pretty neat.
Yes. It's actually on your friends list here. You can click, and anywhere on there you got the send gift. It'll give you an opportunity to send different gifts that you have. If you have them in your inventory, it'll choose those. Otherwise, you can purchase those through Station Cash if you like. So that's pretty much the friendship system. Covers a lot of the social system. I wanted to talk about guilds this week also, but as it... Did I give it to Aaron? Yeah, I did. As it turns out, we turned off a few of the features for the guilds, so I'm a little limited on what we can actually do with that. The first thing I can show you on that, though, just to give you an idea what the guild system, for those that have never been in a guild yet, is like. Guilds. So once you actually create your own guild, you can create whatever name you want for it. You have a guild leader to it who has permissions. That guild leader can give permissions to various other players within that guild to do different changes within it. There is a reputation system, and then there's also alliances or leagues that allow you to join multiple guilds together and work together. That's going to lead a lot into our PvP system once that's available for the Frontier system. Coming to Dragon's Prophet near you soon. I currently don't have very many people in my guild, but once I actually have people here, I've got various different controls. I can go in there and make people different ranks. I can kick them out. I can whisper through them. There's also a recruitment system that allows you to, whenever a player walks up to one of the recruiters, they can see a list of all the current guilds that are available, and you can see a note about the guild. It also allows you to try to apply for the guild through the in-game system.
And then you actually, as a guild leader, would review those applications on this menu. Is that
Yeah, you
correct?
can review them. You can see if there's somebody you want to invite, and you can then invite them into the guild directly through the menu. Okay, so guilds. What else do we want to talk about? Let's hit the Royal Shop for a little bit for you guys. That's something else I've been putting into the game in beta just recently, so the beta players have just started to experience parts of it. One of the things that you saw available through that wheel, we received a few of these Dragon Insignia coins. Let's go to my currencies. So you can see Dragon Insignias. I currently have 1,029 of them. Various different currencies in the game. You can view all these on your character screen. What are those used for? So we're going to start with the marketplace. So the initial marketplace is right here. First thing I'm going to switch over to, just to show it to you, is this button right here. It goes to the insignias. And what this does, which it didn't update. Why didn't that update? Which I apparently broke recently. So I have to go back and check and figure out what's going on with that. What that'll do is it actually looks a lot like the actual store. And as you click through the store, you'll be able to see what items are available, and it'll have the prices for them. A lot of the game items that you have in the store are also available through the Dragon Insignias. Not all of them, but a good portion of them are available through the Dragon Insignias, so it gives you the opportunity to buy them through normal gameplay.
Yep, and Dragon Insignias are something that you get as a reward throughout gameplay. Of course, you can get them on the wheel if you spin and get lucky, but you also gain them from main story quests, some of the main plot points. So they're seeded along your journey, and then you end up spending them in the store.
So basically the store is pretty simple. You've got your basic different categories, breaks it down into different types of items. Different little selector here. I'm really not a big fan of that one, but it's there. Over on the right, you get an up-to-date information on like what are some of the items that are selling for that category. It'll refilter it based off of what's popular by the players and which ones are not selling, so well. So that's another one of those little systems that we just added to the game recently for you to take a look at. Any good questions coming through there that you saw? Or?
I saw one good question. We have a question about alliances with other guilds. So you talked about that briefly, and I believe the system is called leagues.
I believe it is leagues is actually what it's actually called.
Yeah, and this is a system where, of course, you can create your own guild and manage it with your friends. But what it allows you to do is join multiple guilds together under the title of a league, and then they can pursue whatever sorts of content that they like together as a large group instead of just your normal guild. And it kind of gives that dynamic of, sometimes guilds get together and they say, hey, let's form an alliance, let's work together, let's, combine our resources. But this kind of gives it a little bit more formal system, and there's league management. It's kind of neat.
Sorry, I'm just kind of flying around on the side now. So, let's see. What's another cool system? Let me grab this guy right here. Well, actually, so let's see if I can succeed, because I've been failing. What was that?
Oh, he's not captured.
Oh. Must be another dragon around here somewhere. I'll fly over here real quick. So one of the things that we changed recently, for those of you that have been in beta for a while, you may have noticed that the actual dragon system has changed a significant amount. There was a lot of feedback that they wanted to have the dragons out a lot longer. Players were a little disappointed when we originally were having it directly related to your dragon's soul. So we've now uncoupled that, so it now has its own timer. This allows you to have your dragon out adventuring with you a lot longer.
That also makes it so your dragon soul bar is now reserved for your use of the skills that they give you. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Right. So your different Dragon Soul abilities will specifically use that Dragon Soul as a commodity for it, similar to your mana or your hit points. And as you use those abilities, it'll drain that. As I pulled up my dragon here, I'm a little bit buffed up right now, so you can see I've got 51
minutes. I don't think
minutes.
That's a fair fight.
Probably not.
No.
I'm going to just grab one of these guys real quick just to show you a little bit of another system. Why am I getting problems here?
Because he's out.
That shouldn't matter. Does not want to grab any of these dragons. Where is another dragon? Should be some. Where am I? Helps if I actually know where I am. If I go over this way. Let's fly, because it'll be faster. So what I was going to talk about is up in the upper left corner near my character, you can see right over here, there's a new UI element. That UI element is a neat little feature that allows you to see all of your dragons that you currently have on your character and their current timers they have. So in this case, I've got them in slot 2, so Alt F2 is what I can use for pulling that dragon out while I'm in combat. If I can actually get another dragon here. Why am I broken? I don't know what I did. This is what happens when I mess with my character. See if I can fake it and give myself a couple more dragons here. Apparently I can't do that one.
There you go.
Okay, so we got one. Let me see if I can grab myself another dragon real quick. Because I like to cheat and apparently break my character. Really kind of messes me up quite a bit, but that's okay. I can fake it. Okay, so now I just got a few extra dragons. So now what you can see is up in the corner here, we now have the Alt F1, Alt F2, and Alt F3. If I use one of those, I pulled out on my little dragon here, and I can have him go out and do some fighting for me. Can I get this guy? Target him. Aha!
There you go. You can do it.
Then of course I'll fail, because you know I'm awful at this.
Oh, come on. You can do it.
Nah, I'll be fine. I've got my charisma jacked up really high, so... His charisma makes a big effect in...
It really does, yeah.
And as you can see by my 51 minutes that my character, or my mob... I can talk, really, I can. I just don't do it well, apparently.
You know, we receive a lot of questions about exactly how to capture dragons, and... you know, I've found that just from personal experience, the main things that affect it are your charisma. Having a high charisma really helps a lot. Your level in relation to the dragon's level also makes a big difference. So, you know, if you're trying to capture one of them that is like level 11, you're level 9, it's going to be more difficult than if you were level 12. And then, of course, like Rod mentioned, the charisma gear is really the biggest determinant.
Okay, so you can see I've got the one dragon out here, and I decide, hey, this isn't the dragon I want to actually use. I'm going to pull out another dragon, and what you're going to see is up on my corner, you're going to see this Alt F1 now has a 1-minute timer on it. During that 1 minute, it allows the dragon to rest up and be ready for his next fight. If I pull him out again, while that timer's still going on, you can see this little icon here is weak, and it apparently is assist 300004312. Game note.
It means
fix that.
It means he's weakened.
Basically, when your dragon is weakened, it's going to make it so it has less time that he actually can be out. You can see on mine right now I'm at 12 minutes instead of the 50 or 41 minutes that he was at before, because he's now weakened level 2.
And then his stats are reduced also.
That is true.
Yeah.
It reduces down his stats, which we don't know what his original stats were when we looked at it, so who knows.
Does it affect any other pieces of his combat performance, or is it just purely statistical?
Well, it's statistical, so that will affect his attack, his defense. It'll affect his hit points that he has. Pretty much anything that has to do with the stats of the character or of that dragon will become less when he's in that situation. By the way, escape clears that up there. Cool. In case you're wondering.
So basically, when you're in combat, you know, you could have dragons that maybe one of them is a little bit more durable, one's a little bit more damaging. So you could swap between them with those hotkeys instead of having to tab previously and then call it out through the stable. Is that how it was done before, I believe? Yeah.
Before you could call them out during the combat before, but it was a little bit...
you had to switch it through that other menu.
Well, you could use yes, you'd have to use that. Now you got the hotkeys and you can do it much quicker, which is really convenient, especially if you've got... I can speak, really. I really can. If you've got dragons that may have some kind of special attack to them. So your dragon may have a dragon swipe on it that adds a dot to the NPC, and you want to get that out there and wait until he uses it, and then you want to switch to another one who has another attack that you want to use. It allows you to have a little more customization to your attacks and your dragons that you have out there. One of the things that a lot of the players have noticed is that we've made a significant change to the mechanics of the combat system in the last few builds. We're still working on that and tweaking that system out a little bit, but a lot of them have found that having those dragons out is certainly useful and helps out a lot more in combat than in previously. So we've covered what did we cover today? We covered the dragons and their the new dragon UI up there, the hotkeys that are involved with it.
I like it.
It's a fun little system. I really like that improvement on there, and hopefully the players do too. We talked about the friendship system. Hopefully you guys get an opportunity to go in there and try it out, become lots of friends out there, and get your levels up.
And more importantly, get those tokens so you can spin the cool wheel.
The wheel is cool. And we will be updating that wheel from time to time so that you aren't always having the same rewards on there. So it's something over time you're going to want to try and get some of the rare rewards and some of the cool things on it, and then we'll be throwing new stuff on there. We might see crafting recipes show up on there, or maybe some avatar items to give you some special appearances. It could be almost anything.
What kind of items can actually be on that wheel?
In theory,
yes,
anything could be there.
Anything.
Anything could be there.
That's a broad range.
It's all a question of what we want to actually put on there. And a lot of that comes from feedback from Runewaker, and then also in-house we kind of make some decisions on what we want to actually put on there. The stuff that's put on there right now is just kind of a quick demo that I threw together on there. That's not necessarily what we're going to be at when we go into open beta or launch. Those will be changing, throughout the betas. So take a look at them. It's certainly, just like the store also, something we're going to be changing quite a bit. So at times there may be new items that will appear. There might be items that go away for a period of time. There might be items that show up on sale. So certainly if you're interested in purchasing anything from that, take a look and see what you like. What else we got going on today? We talked about guild launch. Hopefully you guys all take an opportunity to take a look at that system. Again, it's guildlaunch.com. If you want to enter into the contest, it's guildlaunch.com/Dragon's Profit. And again, it's an opportunity to enter into their contest, and you can also get some of the beta keys if you don't have one available to you right now. Let's see, we got any good questions coming on there? I haven't been reading. I've been slacking off. We haven't announced open beta at this point. It's going to come up some point. We're continuing to modify the game and review the feedback, so we want to make sure we have the game in the best condition we possibly can have it in before we go into something like open beta. Will the game be able to use a controller rather than the keyboard? I believe it actually works right now. It's currently not set up to support it directly, but plug it in a PS3 or a Xbox controller, and use the software that you have available there, and you can play the game quite a bit. I've seen people use it for a lot of the flying, a lot of the running around in game, and it works fairly well if you set it up for the right keys. But it's something that we're not currently planning on supporting right now.
I'm actually see a question from Legendary Neurotoxin. He's asking about the localization of the game. So whenever you're playing and you see a system string in the game, it's the numbers that have the letters SYS in front of it. That's basically content that's in the process of being translated. As you play through also, you may have played through a quest and then come back later and see that it is strengthened in language. It's kind of a lengthy process that we go through, and there's a lot of content in the game. So we're taking it a bit at a time, and it's our goal to have as much of it localized as possible at open beta. So you guys are going to see within the next week a lot more of the pieces of the UI that may be missing, or some of the NPC names will be filled out later in I would say in about 2 weeks. So you'll see our content coming through them.
Any other good questions on there? Scroll through real quick.
I've also noticed a couple threads on our forums about just localization and suggestions from the players as well. And we always welcome that sort of thing. If that's something that you'd like to see improved, we always welcome your feedback. So I believe there was a thread that was going around on the forums where players were discussing that. So feel free to contribute. I read that. Our localization group does. So we're open to your feedback.
Outcry Devori, can you tell us about the flame red dragon from the cash shop? I'm assuming you're talking about the picture up above. Currently, we don't have any flame red one available in our beta. Once we actually have some more things up there and potentially dragons in the shop, I'd be happy to give you some information, but right now it's not available for you.
There are actually a lot of flame red dragons too. I mean, just in lore, there's actually a group of dragons called pretty much flame red dragons, but they're aggressive. I think if you open the store again and you show those 2 dragons at the top, let's see, yeah. So, yeah, it looks like that guy over there it could either be
I'm not sure who that is
I
offhand.
think it might be Metheus. It could be. There are definitely two legendary dragons. There's a lot of different legendary dragons, and the lore behind those dragons is actually interesting. If you've read through the website and gone through the creation of Aurasia and looked through all of the lore with Kronos and Lycia, it's pretty in-depth. And as you play through the game, you see a lot more of it. You actually kind of participate in it. So definitely red flame dragons throughout the game. There's pretty much any different color that you could imagine for a dragon. So.
Not seeing there's definitely some questions in here, but I think we're going to probably wrap it up here. Can I show you the Monarch Dragon? No, I can't right now. It's currently not in the build I have on beta that I'm on. I can see it on a non-prod, but we're not on a non-prod server. What else we got on there? Any other cool questions? Yeah, Outcry. I don't have the details for you on the dragons that Taiwanese beta is currently releasing. Stuff that we're a few builds behind them, and once I have more information, I'll know more about it. Because again, we oftentimes find out new things about the game. A lot of times when you guys do. I'm constantly learning new things about the game. We get an opportunity to see the builds beforehand, and we get a lot of documentation behind it. But it's a huge game. There's a lot out there.
It's definitely fun. I mean, so you've been playing through. What level are you now?
Gosh, since the wipe, I'm only like 7. I've slacked off.
So, do you prefer Sibernia or Hunok for your starting area?
Just because the first time I created a character in Sibernia, that's where I started, and that's been my preferred area. I haven't really spent a whole lot of time over in Hunok, but
yeah, I actually prefer Sibernia also, but Hunok's kind of cool. There's a lot of deep lore going on there, and depending on if you tried Sibernia once, you might want to try one of the other starting zones because the path of progression is different, and it kind of gives a unique piece of gameplay every time you go through a different zone. So. Definitely something to check out.
We also have the 3rd starting area, which we'll be releasing sometime in the near future. It's also kind of a fun little area to go through. That one I spent a little time in. I'm going to script this name. Persia is the 3rd one.
You're braver than I am.
Yeah.
That's the zombie invasion one.
Yes. It starts out with zombie invasion.
Lots of zombies there.
At the
Lots
beginning
of undead.
It's really kind of neat.
Yeah. Undead dragons there too.
I didn't run into those yet.
Yeah. I think you can I think you can capture a couple of them too.
Really, one of the undeads?
Yes.
I've not seen an undead you can capture yet.
Well, you gotta go around and look for it, and I think it's actually a rare spawn. So, if you're lucky enough to find them and your charisma's high enough, hey, good luck.
So I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming visiting us again at our webcast. Again, I'm Rod Haza, one of the associate producers. Todd didn't make it to do the video capture today, so we have Merv with us today, who's our project manager working with internationalization and several other areas of the game.
Yeah, thanks for letting me sit in. It was great.
That's all I got for you guys. Thanks again for
thanks for watching, everyone.
For watching. Let's see, what do we got here? We got this.